Just joining us now is Republican Congressman Ed Royce. He's chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
We have a lot to talk to you about, but let's start with Syria in terms of what we're hearing this morning. Have you heard that there's some sort of shifting strategy on Syria and that the goal would now be to oust Assad?
I have heard this, and I think part of the strategy behind it is the request from Turkey that something be done about what Assad is doing to the Sunni population. In Aleppo, as you know, the middle class, Syrian Sunni middle class is holding on there, and they are being pounded 40 air flights a day, barrel bombs being dropped on that population, a couple million refugees inside Turkey from Syria. Syria is saying, look, Assad is not going to come to the table. He's not going to work out peace. So if you want our engagement, let's have a plan to do something to remove Assad, and then we can stop ISIL. I think that's what's driving it, as well as the feeling of the Gulf states and, frankly, Jordan, that feel the same way Turkey does on this issue.
Okay, let's move on to China and the deal that many people are calling historic in terms of climate change and getting China to finally agree to curtail some of the vast pollution that it's been churning out. What do you think of that deal?
Well, 16 years from now, in this deal, China agrees to increase its emissions for the next 16 years, but then to cap and then to begin to reduce. And I think that's what has caught people's attention. I've been in China and seen the pollution. It is really terrible. And one of my colleagues once on a trip there found that the scrubbers that they were supposed to be using in order, to clean the coal weren't turned on. When questioned, they said, well, it's growth at any cost. Look, what we'd like to see in an agreement is something that reduces pollution now in China, not 16 years from now. Not let them continue to emit and increase those emissions while we, of course, are reducing. And we would double the rate of reduction by 26%. So here's the point that Republicans are making. Energy costs are important in terms of manufacturing costs. So if China gets lower energy costs than the United States, a lot of jobs are going to go to China. Can't we do something to put pressure on China, maybe through tax policy of imports or whatever it's going to be, that would force them to comply with the same regulations and rules that we comply to, rather than an agreement where we increase our regulation here, but they wait 16 years before they turn the corner and begin to reduce their emissions. That's the question. I
mean, the way it's being billed is that they have until 2030 to reach those caps, as you're talking about, ceiling, as you're talking about, but they are supposed to be starting steps now. I mean, baby steps. Is there any consolation that at least China has come to the table to talk about pollution?
Well, look, it's great that we have a dialogue with them. I've raised this with the Premier myself. But the question is also this. The administration, in the meantime, with the Keystone Pipeline, by blocking that project, they're sending that petroleum to China because China's trying to build a pipeline, to Vancouver and then send it to China. Again, that reduces the price of energy in China, while we will then have a higher price here. Our manufacturers have to compete. So our worry here with the global strategy of the administration is, are they really putting pressure on China, or are they simply doubling down here on regulation but not negotiating with the Chinese on anything that's verifiable? And I think that's a valid worry based on the conversations I've had with the Premier. I don't know how serious the Chinese really are. Maybe 16 years from now they'll reduce the emissions, but they certainly don't intend to right now.
We want to talk about what you're doing today, and that is holding a hearing on Ebola. The president has asked Congress for $6.2 billion in emergency funds to try to the spread of Ebola everywhere. Are you inclined to give him that money?
Yeah, I think we're inclined to be supportive of this. Our hearing is going to focus on the World Health Organization. One of the problems we have is that we have transferred an enormous amount of money to the World Health Organization, hundreds of millions of dollars, but the World Health Organization actually blocked the efforts by the CDC and USAID, and they refuted the argument made by Doctors Without Borders months ago, before this crisis hit, when others were saying, hey, look, you've got political directors in there with the World Health Organization that are denying that this is an Ebola epidemic. So they kept people out. They actually blocked or did not admit experts who wanted to travel to that region. We are going to have some reforms in the UN to get people who are actually doctors, actually physicians, in these positions, and get World Health Organization professionals in country assisting. The United States is now going to take the lead on Liberia. As you know, in Sierra Leone, that will be Britain, and France for Guinea. So everybody's going to step up and do their part here, but we do have to shake out the World Health Organization to get them to make certain that this kind of a disaster does not occur again, where for 5 months they try to keep from the public the information about an epidemic.
Okay, got it. Congressman Ed Royce, thanks so much for making time for us this morning. Great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
Let's go over to Mikhail.